This past week, we have seen the dollar start to rise a little bit, but we did just break this little rally-based rally area of demand or buying, whatever you want to call it, on the DXY. That has left us with some sort of selling up here, some sort of supply up here. Honestly, I think we will be targeting this liquidity down here because, reminder, up above, price contacted a monthly supply zone on the DXY. That is why I think we could easily continue to push down, target the liquidity at this support area, and even push down to some of these weekly demand zones at $98.80 and even below $98 at $97.13. So that is where I think we could be headed long term. I'm not saying we're going to push down immediately. I'm just saying we could continue to see more dollar weakness in the next couple weeks. With that being said, let's get into this week's Forex forecast. But first, here are some of the winning trades that we had last week from the daily market breakdown videos. So looking at the daily time frame here of the DXY, we did remove this daily demand zone. It wasn't really too much of a concern for me anyways. That has left us with daily supply above. So, I am long-term bearish the US dollar. I think, like I said, we could easily push below 98. I think we could push down that much. Now, as far as this daily chart goes, it's possible we do push up to the daily chart first, the daily supply, and then go down to 98. I just want to say that is possible. So although I am bearish a dollar, it wouldn't shock me if we did get some sort of retracement up to some institutional selling up above at that supply zone. So I just wanted to kind of point that out as well. And looking at the 1 hour time frame, we do have some sort of trend line here to the upside, some sort of 1 hour trend, I would say, and it's looking pretty strong, right? The trend line is currently being respected, so we could expect price to push up. This 1 hour trend line basically can indicate we will be getting a push up. Now, before we get all the way up to that daily supply, it is possible, looking at the 4 hour time frame, we have a little hidden drop-based drop supply at 104.95. I think that would be kind of our next stop if we do continue to push up. I'm not saying the zone is going to hold price and push down to 98, but I am saying this is a supply zone we could maybe see a small move off of, maybe before retracing up. So definitely have this little drop-based drop 4 hour supply zone on your charts. But remember, like I said at the intro of the video, we have that monthly supply that has taken control. We didn't hit the weekly supply, but the monthly supply is in control, and that is probably why we've seen some rally-based rallies be blown through here as we continue to push down. And we do have that liquidity support level down here. That is where I think we will be targeting. So I'm going to be monitoring the 1 hour time frame here. Again, going back to this 1 hour chart, if this trend line holds, we could definitely expect price to continue up. If it breaks, then my theory about the daily supply above, maybe pushing up to it, might be wrong. So we're going to monitor this 1 hour upward trend line and the 4 hour and the daily supply zones here on the DXY. All right, on to the forecast for the Euro USD. So on the weekly time frame, massive push up. We have liquidity above, resistance. That is where I think we will be targeting. Obviously, it is the opposite of the DXY. I still like the weekly demand down below. I like that we were creating some sort of support before. So I think we could even see a move down there. I'm not saying we're going to get that next week. Absolutely not. I'm not saying we're going to get that in the next couple of months. All I'm saying is we have a fresh weekly demand down below that still could technically be hit. But for now, momentum is obviously to the upside. So how do we go about and trade the euro? Well, on the daily chart, broke out of this daily area of supply, daily range. I like this daily demand zone down below. I think it's definitely good. I'm not saying we're going to pull back down to there, but it would be a good swing trading opportunity potentially. And on the 4 hour chart, we do have a rally-based rally demand zone that is currently in control right now. So what that means is as long as this demand zone's holding, which means as long as it doesn't break below this, you could be looking for longs on a 15-minute time frame, right? So as long as this trend line, as long as this demand's holding, you could be looking for 15-minute demand zones or however you like to trade on a 15-minute time frame. Now, I also like this 4 hour demand zone down below. It's kind of below all this liquidity here, all this trading here. So I think it's a great demand zone. It's a little hidden rally-based rally at 1.07. I think it's a great little demand zone that we certainly could see a move off of. And there's one even lower as well. So a couple demand zones here on the euro. And with the trend to the upside, like as long as this demand zone's holding, guys, it's really longs on even on any day trading time frames. Even on the 1 hour chart, we had a lot of downward momentum here like this. This downward momentum has recently been removed with this push up. We don't have a 1 hour trend yet. What I would like to see is a clean 1 hour trend to the upside. Then longs are going to be even higher odds, like on a 5-minute and a 1-minute time frame as well. So for now, it is longs all the way. Map out the 4 hour zones that I had on the euro. Copy them onto your charts. If you are a member, you get the zones anyways on your chart, so you can copy if you are a paying member as well. But you don't have to. You can just copy them on here. But at the end of the day, it is longs all the way here on the Euro USD. On to the forecast for gold. On the daily chart here, everyone was freaking out the past couple weeks. I've been talking about it. Yeah, okay, it was a pullback, but I was reminding everybody the higher time frame trends are up. So I am not surprised to see this all-time high broken this past week on gold. And right here, we created our pivot point for our second touch of our trend line. Things are looking really, really strong right now on gold. I will say right away, we're going to look for a couple zones here, but it is longs all the way on gold. I would not be shorting. I cannot stress that enough. Can you short? Can you trade counter trends? Sure. But this is a lot of momentum. I definitely would not be wanting to trade against this on gold. And if you guys are enjoying this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you are new to the channel. We just did another donation to my local hospice charity because all the ad revenue from these weekly Forex forecast videos is donated to my local hospice. So $80 donated. Thanks to everyone here. Let's continue it up. Hit that like button and subscribe. So as far as gold goes now, again, it's one of those times, look at my 4-chart layout, trend to the upside on all 4 timeframes here. It is looking superb. I would be mostly focused on the 4-hour chart as far as zones. We have a level on top of level here. We had a supply zone up above and the all-time high. Both of those were removed. Now we have 2 demand zones, one at 29.44 and one lower at 29.22. So they're 2 good zones. And what I will say is, let's say we don't even push back down to the zone. That's fine. As long as this upward trend line's holding, longs on a 50-minute and a 5-minute chart are both going to be good. If we get a pullback down to this rally-based rally demand, I think it's a great zone at 29.44. And look, if it breaks, that's fine. Losing is part of trading. We have a zone down below. And if both of those zones fail, whatever, guys, trading is, you are going to lose in trading. So get used to it. Just a little bit of a psychology tip. You're going to have to get used to losing. So a couple good zones here. I like them. It is longs all the way on here on gold. Even on the day trading timeframes, look at this beautiful trend to the upside. It is picture perfect. Beautiful rally. So this zone is better than this one. This zone is a better price technically. However, look at the move away from this zone. It is longs all the way here on gold. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If we start to break, the 4-hour upward trend, then we might be able to talk about maybe shorting. But in the meantime, it is longs all the way on gold. So map out those 4-hour zones and it's longs all the way, especially on the day trading timeframes. On to the forecast for the USDJPY. Remember the last couple of weeks we did remove significant weekly demand that removed supply. So this is a significant demand zone removed. That's why I'm not surprised to see the USDN go even further. We have a little bit of a support area down here. I think that's where we could be targeting if we continue to push down. We had a 1-hour downward trend line here, and that trend line was removed pretty quickly. We came up for the 3rd test. It was removed. That has left us with a little rally-based rally demand zone. Not my favorite zone. I don't mind the move away. At 147.97, we definitely could see move off this zone. It might be worth having on your charts. Remember, guys, if you don't feel comfortable with just an entry, stop loss, and take profit, what you could be doing is looking for extra confirmation in here. And since this is a 1-hour zone, you want to be doing that on a 5-minute or a 1-minute time frame. So if you're going to do that, it's going to be on those time frames. A nice little rally-based rally here that was responsible for removing a downward trend line. So I like that 4-hour zone, that 1-hour zone on the USDJPY. If you think I'm wrong and you think Kevin's completely wrong, what a dummy, the USDN is definitely going to go down. That's fine if you have that opinion. I even kind of agree, right? That 1-hour zone might be good for like a 1-to-1, 2-to-1 trade. But ultimately, guys, the momentum is down. The trend is down in the 4-hour chart. We have a trend line currently being respected. So if you're bearish, this is the trend line you're going to have to monitor. And if it continues to hold, shorts on a 50-minute time frame are good. Whether you trade supply and demand zones or not, that is our move, right? With a 4-hour downward trend, we certainly want to be day trading short. And honestly, with the daily momentum down, the 4-hour trend being down, I am expecting 1-hour demand zone to be removed. But going back to that 1-hour chart, like I said, this could be like a quick little 1-to-1, 2-to-1 trade. Ultimately, it could break because of the 4-hour downward trend, and that's fine. Let's say price pushes down, we break it. That's fine. We have a nice, hopefully we'll have a nice little 1-hour supply zone here that we can get in short at to trade with the overall 4-hour downward trend and the daily downward trend and momentum as well. So as far as the yen goes, we definitely want to be monitoring this 4-hour downward trend line and this 1-hour demand zone to see if it can hold and what zone breaks it if it does break. On to the forecast for the GBPUSD on the weekly time frame here. We are into this weekly supply. I'm not saying the supply is going to hold, but I have to point it out. This is a very significant supply that not only removed a demand zone, but an upward trend line as well. We have pushed into this supply pretty aggressively. We are kind of hesitating now. So what we want to do for short trades pretty much is this. we want to be monitoring this 4-hour trend line. Let's say price pushes to the trend line, we break it. If we have a 4-hour supply zone, that is our confirmation model right here. This is a typical classic confirmation trading model using supply and demand zones. I have many videos on it on my channel. That is what we will be looking for as the weekly supply is in control. If you think I'm wrong, that's fine. You could be getting in long as this trend line's holding on a 15-minute chart. However, with the higher time frame weekly supply and control, that is a high risk trading decision to make, and that's fine. It's just high risk, and you need to understand that on the GBPUSD. Now, another potential trading opportunity for longs, I've identified this area of support right here. We are wicking through a few times, but it clearly is some sort of support, and we have a real demand zone right below it at 1.29. I think it is a fantastic zone. I think it's good for a potential long trade, a nice rally, base rally, right below a support liquidity trap. I think it could work. It might be worth having on your charts as well. And let's say we break the zone, that's fine. We could definitely be shorting a supply zone that removes it. So that's what I'm going to be monitoring here on the pound. I like this 1-hour zone. That's the only trading setup I see right now as far as the zone goes. So it might be worth having on your charts. But remember, with the weekly supply and control, if we do start to break the upward trend on the 4-hour chart, that is our sign to look for shorts. So keep that in mind here as you are potentially looking for short-term longs here on the GBPUSD. On to the forecast for the USDCAD. Beautiful trend to the upside on the weekly time frame here. The daily chart is not great. It is clearly a mess. There's almost nothing we can use off this chart other than identifying it's a sideways soup right now. It is certainly not my favorite chart. Now on the 4-hour chart, we did kind of base up here, create some sort of resistance area. And I do like the supply above still. I'd rather this resistance be a little bit closer to the supply, but I still think it's a valid trading setup at 1.46. It is a little hidden base drop supply up here that did remove demand. Nice push down. It's a decent zone. We definitely could see a move off of that, but for now, we're not really getting a push up to there at all. We did, however, catch a beautiful 1-hour supply zone trade here. So a little bit of a trade review. And by the way, this trade was called out in the daily market breakdown videos for the Diamond members. If you want to trade alongside myself and the community, join the Diamond membership for exclusive access to our daily market breakdown videos and catch trades like these. Plus, dive deep with our full-length forecast covering 26 plus markets, our interactive Sunday Zoom sessions, and personal homework to sharpen your strategy. And you'll also join our private Discord group for direct access to me and unlock a complete library of A to Z video lessons to master supply and demand trading. Don't miss out. Let's level up your trading. Links are in the description down below. So this trade, basically we had a 1-hour trend line to the upside. That was looking good. We had a 1-hour demand zone here. So this zone was responsible for removing a trend line and a demand zone. That is why I felt comfortable shorting at the supply, and some of the members did as well. So beautiful setup off that 1-hour supply zone. Little base drop supply, beautiful move away. 3-to-1 hit pretty easily on this zone. So we don't have a trend to the downside right now. What you could be doing is monitoring this low. If we do break this low here on the 1-hour chart, then we'll have an H1 downtrend. Then you could add 5-minute time frame shorts to your trading plan here on the USDCAD. That is what I'd be waiting for in the USDCAD here, or we need to wait for a 4-hour supply above. So unfortunately, I don't really have any fresh zones for me to point out in the USDCAD here. That's why I always tell people, if you want to get my forecast throughout the week, join the membership. That's how we caught this trade on the USDCAD in the 1-hour time frame. But for now, not seeing any setups until we can maybe break a new low and get up to the 4-hour supply here on the USDCAD. On to the forecast for the AUDUSD. On the weekly chart here, we did break some lows the last couple of weeks and months, but this chart really is not my favorite for trading on the daily time frame. We'll do a full top down here. There's just no trend, right? Yes, we did break above this downward trend line. That was definitely a bullish sign, but as we push back and we push up, it's just not great. Like, if you look at this chart, where is this going, right? It's very, very difficult to predict. The fact that, we zoom out here, yes, the overall momentum is down. However, we specifically lost some momentum here. So it is tricky. We really want to wait for a clear trend to make, proper trading decisions. On this 4-hour chart here, we have seen zone after zone removed. Now, none of these zones were really great in my opinion, so none of them that I personally took. Would have been a couple losses here, and that's the issue with trading at mediocre zones like this. And we are just kind of basing out here. We're ranging out. If I just take a rectangle tool, it's just a clear range here, right? So if I just change the color, it's very, very obvious that we are ranging. This is pretty bad to look at, but you guys know what I mean. We want to break out of this range because I'll tell you what, if we break this high here, we will have a 1 hour trend, or sorry, a 4 hour trend to the upside, which gives it higher odds to be looking for longs on a 50-minute chart to trade with that trend line. Now, if we break this low, we will have a 1 hour downward trend, or sorry, a 4 hour downward trend line as well. Then we could look for shorts on a 50-minute chart. So that is what we are waiting for here. I don't want to point out any of these mediocre zones here on the Aussie US dollar. They're not horrible, but they're not my favorite either. So we really want to break out of that range, start to create new zones. So for now on the Aussie US dollar, guys, it is just not worth trading in my opinion. Yes, you can trade it if you're going to trade it at all. I guess technically shorts would be best due to the fact that we have a weekly downward trend. But on my channel, I don't know if anybody's new to my channel, I don't force anything. I don't point out any mediocre zones or anything that I don't agree with here. So on the Aussie US dollar, honestly, I'd be kind of holding off right now. Alrighty, on to the forecast for the USDCHF. We did recently break some sort of demand here. That has left us with technically a supply zone here. Now, the reason I have this one above is because it is better. I'm not going to get into too much detail on that. But we have a level on top of level here. I do prefer the one above. I want to make that very clear. It doesn't mean we can't see a move off this supply. So if we are going to trade at this supply, we're going to be looking for a confirmation trade. But any one of these daily supply zones, I think, are good for trading a confirmation entry. And not only that, we have very clear profit margin down to the daily demand. If you just look, if you just take a profit margin tool, you can see just on the daily chart here, which is a big time frame, it's over a 3.5 to 1 to daily demand. So there is a ton of profit margin available on the USD Swiss. So when we're trading at a daily supply, we want to look for 1 hour confirmation. So if you want to look for that 1 hour confirmation trade, you need to have this trend line from here to here. That is the proper way to draw the trend line. Don't draw it anywhere else. That is the way you draw it. We need to be monitoring that. Once this daily supply gets hit up here, then we're going to be waiting for a break of this trend line, hopefully leaving us with a supply zone to short as our confirmation trade. That is what we're going to be looking for here on the USD Swiss, guys. And in the meantime, what you could be doing is you could actually be day trading long this upward trend line on a 5-minute chart. So as long as this trend line's holding, you could be looking for longs on a 5-minute chart. Let's say that the supply zone above is up here on the daily chart. You can maybe look to take profits at the supply, and then we could hold off for potential short trades. So all really going to be revolving around this 1 hour upward trend line right now on the USD Swiss on the 1 hour chart. So definitely monitor that 1 hour trend line. Like I said, we have daily supply zones that could come into control, and we certainly want to be potentially looking for some short trades off of those supply zones. So we're going to be monitoring the 1 hour chart for our confirmation entry on the USDCHF. Last but not least, we are on to crude oil. We've talked about this many times. We are back into this weekly demand for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7th time at this point. So it is not great. However, you know, I'm not saying, like, we definitely could see a push off of this zone. And we did break a previous low here on the oil time frame, which has given us an actual weekly downward trend, right? Because we did break below this low here. So now we have a weekly downward trend. It is looking really, really bearish here on crude oil, I won't lie. The only issue is we are kind of going sideways in the lower time frames, right? We're clearly just ranging here. So in my opinion, the best bet for trading is to wait for this little supply zone above for shorts at 69, 67, a good little drop-based drop supply. I don't love that it was a move off of this previous supply zone. Now, this was a previous supply zone we called out a couple weeks ago in the daily market breakdown video as well. But now we have a new one, and that's the zone I would rather be waiting for shorts here on crude oil. We don't even have, you know, a 1 hour trend to the upside. We did, so you could have been day trading long as this trend line's holding, but it's not. We are going sideways. So we really just want to monitor this high as well on the 1 hour chart and this low, right? Because if we remove any of them, we remove that high, okay, then 5-minute time frame longs are going to be good. If we remove the low, then 5-minute time frame shorts are going to be good. So we certainly want to be monitoring the highs and lows here on the 1 hour chart to give us the direction to suggest, you know, on the 4 hour chart, if we are going to get a pullback up to our supply zone, which we can then look for shorts, or if we were going to push down and create a new 4 hour downward trend line. So a little bit tricky here on oil. We really just want to kind of be patient. If you want to watch the full-length forecast and get my daily chart analysis and daily market breakdown videos, join the Diamond membership. Links in the description down below.